Yes, all right, lads. Welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Let us discuss some Arsenal transfer rumors and news around the club this evening with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang set to leave the club if any club comes in with the right bids and any offers that Arsenal consider good. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Always, it really means a lot. It's not the easiest of days in my life, but I'm so sick, but I'll try to catch up little by little, and then we shall be able to move on. Now, Fabrizio has been speaking about the situation around Aubameyang and a couple of other departures on the Arsenal launch, and he spoke about so many things. But the key highlights, I'll try to do key highlights in a couple of videos. But let's start with Aubameyang, who has said that I think he's one of the players that with an important proposal, he has the chances to leave. At the moment, they don't consider the player as a problem. If something big happens, they are open. But if not, the player is staying. That's as per Fabrizio Romano. He was speaking to the Arsenal launch today, and just say that probably Arsenal could let Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang go. Please do check out One Expert. They bring you the latest odds and the latest matches in terms of betting, and they sponsor my videos. So please make sure you check them out. You could actually win many prizes with them. But let us get into the video now. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang just signed a new contract last summer, a 350k contract last summer, and it is one of them. I think I named him in my disappointments of the season. Honestly, he was a disappointment. Let us stop, being unfair as Arsenal fans. We blame the likes of Danny Ceballos. We blame the likes of Willian. Players that players that were just coming in at Arsenal. Ceballos was on loan. Willian was a newcomer. He needed some time to get used to the system. We scolded them. Honestly, they deserve it because they were awful. They were disgraceful. But Aubameyang also deserves some harsh words, on his performances. They have been so dreadful. I mean, he's a captain. He's the most expensive player, the most paid player at the club. Not most expensive because Pepe is most expensive, but I think he's second most expensive because we brought him in for around 60 million pounds from Borussia Dortmund. So this season, the previous season, I can't explain what happened with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Honestly, nobody can explain. He's had discipline issues. He's had reaching late in training. He has had so many things as well as personal problems. But I think for me, his attitude. It was always about his attitude. At times, you could lose your form. You could lose your goal scoring boots. You could be in a drought for a whole season, but what is your attitude telling? What is your body language telling? I think he's been the worst leader ever Arsenal can ever have in a season. His body language has been so poor. His attitude has been so poor, and I think if Arsenal decide eventually to sell him, I won't be surprised because after this summer, next summer, is leading us into the Mesut Ozil. Next season is leading us into the Mesut Ozil situation. Just imagine if he gets a replica of the same season, like last season. That means since he signed the new contract, he has 2 dreadful seasons. He's getting lots and lots of money. But again, we have to think about 2 things. One, you could sell him at the moment, so that you save the funds in the future, basically being prudent. But also, you have to think about it. He is one of the best goal scorers in the league, apart from Kun Aguero and Harry Kane. You might actually take him as number 3 in the pecking order in terms of goal poachers and clinical number 9s. And Arsenal need that player. We need that kind of player. We've always wanted to have that kind of player, from the likes of Thierry Daniel Henry to the likes of Eduardo. We have always wanted to have that kind of striker who poaches the goals, and it really helps us. The seasons with the Robin van Persie's at their hype have been very different as compared to the seasons where we have had the likes of Olivier Giroud and Marouane Chamakh. So it's for me it's a little bit difficult. If you're saying you're selling Aubameyang, you must be able to get in a wonderful striker, not Alexander Lacazette, not even Ocean Edward. I think with Liverpool set to sign Patson Daka, I would have considered Daka as one of the options. Of course, I would look at Ocean Edward, but I was looking at Ocean Edward as a player for the future, a player you groom with Aubameyang around. And then probably the next 2 or 3 seasons, he becomes the independent striker at the club. At the moment, I don't see Arsenal really signing a super striker. Aubameyang, I still believe there's so many goals in him. I won't be surprised if the club sells him, if we decide to cash in on him. Like I said, they've got to be prudent at the moment. They have seen what has happened with Mesut Ozil. They've got to be prudent. The player is in his 30s. His form has dropped down. It looks like it was a mistake to give him that big contract, which I think it wasn't a mistake because he had earned it for 2 consecutive seasons, lifting the club on his shoulders. As a sole player with his sole performances, I think he really did earn it. So I don't want anyone who says, you know what, Cossy, Aubameyang should have never got that contract in the first place. That's ridiculous. You know how impatient we were when we were waiting for him to sign that new contract. We were very impatient because he was the only star we had at the moment. But it's a bit of a predicament, honestly. It's a difficult one. Arsenal deciding to sell him, who comes in? That's the big question. He is our main goal scorer, our main goal poacher. If United, if City are looking at Jesus, and Ken are looking at and Tottenham and Spurs are looking at Ken, we are looking at Aubameyang, and that's it. So it would depend. I think it's a transfer that should be put under a lot of consideration. We have a lot of priorities in this summer. I don't want us to mess up. We are apparently chasing Odegaard and Emi Buendia. That's according to Fabrizio. He says Arsenal are chasing both players. Probably we could get one of them. So at the moment, if we do not have to lay off our strikers, let us leave the transfer. If we have to lay them off and get in better strikers, at the moment I don't see so brilliant strikers that are ahead of Aubameyang. Of course, I can talk about Ocean Edward, Patson Daka. I can talk about the likes of Moussa Dembele, who has had a very awful season, by the way, both at Lyon and Atletico Madrid. It's a difficult one, people. It's a very difficult one. But tell me, people, what do you think about Pierre Aubameyang? Of course, don't look at the fact that he's had a bogus season alone. Also look at the fact that he could actually bounce back in the next season, and maybe we get the best out of him. My name is Cossy. I'll speak to you in the next video. Please do smash a like on the video. Been discussing Aubameyang, and Fabrizio says he's one of the players that could with an important proposal, he could leave the club in the summer, but at the moment they do not consider him as a big problem, and I'll see you on the other end.